Have you ever looked at the ruins of an ancient city and wondered, where did everyone go? It's a question that echoes through the corridors of history, a chilling silence where bustling civilizations once stood. Today, we're pulling back the veil on some of humanity's greatest mysteries, the sudden and often terrifying disappearances of our earliest societies. We're not just talking about cities being abandoned. We're talking about entire cultures vanishing, leaving behind little more than whispers in the dust. Was it a biblical flood, a raging plague, an alien abduction? Or was it something far more familiar, something brewing from within? Let's journey back in time, sift through the archaeological evidence, and confront the unsettling possibilities of what happened to humanity's first great civilizations. Our first stop takes us to the arid plains of modern-day Pakistan and western India, the heartland of the Indus Valley civilization. Around 1,500 years ago, this was one of the most advanced societies on Earth. Cities like Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa were marvels of urban planning, with sophisticated grid layouts, complex water management systems, and a population that may have topped 5 million people. They had a standardized system of weights and measures, traded with Mesopotamia, and developed a unique script that, to this day, we cannot decipher. They were, by all accounts, a thriving, organized, and powerful civilization. And then, around 1900 BC, they just faded away. The great cities were deserted, the trade routes fell silent, and their script was lost to time. For decades, the leading theory was a dramatic invasion. The image of nomadic Aryan horsemen sweeping down from the north, conquering the peaceful Harappans, was a popular one. It was a simple, clean explanation. But the archaeological evidence just doesn't support a massive, violent overthrow. There's a distinct lack of widespread destruction, no layers of ash from citywide fires, and very few signs of battle in the skeletal remains found. So if not war, then what? The answer seems to be far more insidious and, in a way, more terrifying because it's a story we're seeing play out again today. Evidence now points to a slow, creeping environmental catastrophe. Scientists studying ancient sediment cores and climate data have discovered that the monsoon patterns in the region began to shift dramatically. The reliable summer rains that fed the Gagar River, a vital artery for the civilization, started to weaken. The river, once mighty enough to support vast agricultural fields and dozens of cities, began to dry up. Think about it. Your entire society is built around a predictable water source. It dictates where you plant, how you build, and how many people you can feed. Suddenly, that source becomes unreliable. The crops fail. Famine sets in. The intricate network of trade and social order begins to fray. The people of the Indus Valley didn't vanish in a single, fiery apocalypse. They likely dispersed, migrating in smaller groups towards more fertile lands to the east, their complex urban culture dissolving back into a simpler, rural existence over generations. The great cities weren't sacked, they were simply left behind, swallowed by the encroaching drought. It is a sobering reminder that even the most advanced societies are utterly dependent on the whims of their environment. Now let's journey across the globe to Central America, to the lush, dense jungles that were once home to the Maya. The classic Maya period, from around 250 to 900 AD, was a golden age. They built breathtaking pyramid temples like those at Tikal and Calakmul, developed a highly accurate calendar, and created the most sophisticated writing system in the pre-Columbian Americas. Their understanding of astronomy and mathematics was extraordinary. They were the intellectuals, the artists, and the architects of their world. But as the 9th century drew to a close, something went terribly wrong. The southern lowlands, the very heart of the Maya civilization, experienced a catastrophic decline. The great cities were abandoned one by one, their magnificent temples and palaces left to be reclaimed by the jungle. The population plummeted by as much as 90%. This wasn't a slow fade like the Indus Valley. This was a collapse. So what caused the Great Maya downfall? Unlike the Indus Valley, here we see signs of intense internal strife. Later carvings and inscriptions from this period speak of increasing warfare between city-states. Archaeological evidence backs this up, with fortifications being built around cities that were previously open. Skeletal remains show signs of malnutrition and disease. It seems the Maya world was tearing itself apart, but why? Again, the climate appears to be the primary culprit. Analysis of lake sediments and cave formations has revealed a series of prolonged, intense droughts that struck the region right around the time of the collapse. The Maya, brilliant as they were, had also pushed their environment to the limit. They had cleared vast areas of forest for agriculture and to burn lime for their incredible plaster architecture. This deforestation would have made the droughts even worse, raising local temperatures and reducing rainfall. Imagine a society already stressed by overpopulation and constant warfare. Now had a century-long drought. Food and water become catastrophically scarce. The divine kings, whose authority rested on their ability to communicate with the gods and ensure prosperity, suddenly seem powerless. The people lose faith. Riots, civil war, starvation. It's a perfect storm of social and environmental collapse. The survivors didn't disappear from the earth, they scattered, moving north to areas like the Yucatan Peninsula where new, smaller Maya centers would later rise. But the classical world they had built, the world of monumental cities and powerful kings, was gone forever. A chilling testament to how internal conflict and environmental mismanagement can bring even the most brilliant civilization to its knees. Our final mystery takes us to the windswept shores of the Aegean Sea, to the island of Crete. This was the home of the Minoans, Europe's first advanced civilization. Flourishing from around 2700 to 1450 BC, they were a maritime powerhouse. Their culture was vibrant and unique, famous for its sprawling, labyrinthine palaces like the one at Knossos, its beautiful frescoes depicting acrobatic bull lepers. Its seemingly peaceful nature, their settlements lacked defensive walls. They traded across the Mediterranean, and their influence was felt from Egypt to the Greek mainland. They were a sophisticated, wealthy, and seemingly secure society. Then, around 1450 BCE, their world came to a sudden, violent end. The palaces were destroyed, many settlements were burned and abandoned, and Minoan culture effectively vanished, absorbed by the emerging Mycenaeans from mainland Greece. For a long time, the culprit was thought to be the cataclysmic eruption of the Thera volcano on the modern-day island of Santorini. This was one of the largest volcanic explosions in human history. The eruption would have triggered massive tsunamis that would have obliterated the Minoan fleet and coastal towns. The falling ash would have choked agricultural land, leading to widespread famine. It seemed like a clear-cut case of natural disaster. However, the timeline doesn't quite match up. The main eruption of Thera happened around 1600 BCE, a full 150 years before the final destruction of the Minoan palaces. While the eruption undoubtedly caused immense disruption and weakened the Minoans, it doesn't explain their final collapse. The newer evidence points to a more complex scenario, a combination of natural disaster and human opportunism. The Thera eruption dealt a devastating blow to the Minoan economy and military power. The navy, the source of their security and wealth, was likely crippled. The agricultural base was damaged. In this moment of weakness, it appears the Mycenaeans from mainland Greece, who had long been influenced by and were perhaps rivals of the Minoans, saw their chance. Archaeological finds from the final destruction layers at Minoan sites show an influx of Mycenaean weaponry and pottery styles. It's likely the Mycenaeans invaded a civilization already on its knees, conquering a weakened palaces and taking control of the valuable trade routes. The Minoans didn't just disappear, they were conquered and assimilated. Their fall is a stark lesson in geopolitics. Even a powerful culture can be erased when a natural disaster leaves it vulnerable to its rivals. From the drying rivers of the Indus Valley to the warring kings of the Maya and the volcanic ash of the Aegean, the stories of these lost civilizations are more than just historical curiosities. They are cautionary tales. They show us how fragile even the most advanced societies can be in the face of climate change, resource depletion, and internal conflict. the silent stones of Mohenjo-Daro, the jungle-choked pyramids of Tycho, and the ruined palaces of Crete all whisper the same warning across the millennia. No civilization is guaranteed to last forever. Understanding why they fell is not just about solving ancient mysteries. It is about learning the lessons we need to ensure our own civilization doesn't become another silent ruin for future generations. It's to puzzle over. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey into the past as fascinating as I did, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more dives into the great mysteries of history.